It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and I am at Cindy's house in Chula Vista checking in on a garden that we installed probably 3 years ago. And you know, it's just so fascinating to see how these plants mature and how they really defy expectations, and also, you know, microclimatically how things are doing. This is a fairly shady spot in her garden, and this Kalanchoe orgialis loves it. This is also a plant that's called copper spoons, and in this dappled sunlight, this plant has really retained its color beautifully. We have some mealybug in this aloe. Now this is an interesting aloe too, because it looks very much like a striata, doesn't it? Its blooms are identical, but it doesn't have the blue leaf. It's got the green freckles. So it's obviously a hybrid of the striata, and I haven't ever seen one just like this before. Here's another one of those moonshine agaves. This is a good choice if you're looking for a agave that's going to pup and become more of a stand as opposed to a one-off. Another Mediopicta. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is it just growing that way? How they're being weird.
Yeah, that can sometimes be indicative of snout weevil when the meristem goes conky-wonkus, but this one isn't showing. I don't see any evidence. And it's, you know, it's really in there. It's not loose. I think this is just reaching for the light. Or maybe it's going to split. This beautiful, small, I'm not sure either, because it looks a lot like a quichua con, but it doesn't have the variegation. But it also isn't blue or pupping like a potatorum. But this little agave is very gorgeous. We just recently planted this truncata here, so it's still on the small side. And this Euphorbia trigona doesn't look very good. I think I need to bring some fungicide over and fertilize. I know I never fertilize my succulents, but in this case, I think it would really benefit from it. It's growing, but it's not the healthiest, is it? And it's too important here for it not to look good. Our stand of Aloe cameronii is almost to the point where it needs to be dug up, cut up, and reset, as this is just going to keep throwing off pups and it's going to get a little overpowering. The Aloe Blue Elf is doing well here. This is one that I have mixed success with in gardens, but I'm enjoying that there. This Longissimum, this Dazzlerian, gave us fits. It wasn't well rooted and it kept kind of flopping over, and the client propped it up with rubble. And it's figured it out. It's now in there. It's really in there. So it's going to be just fine. This, I hate this. I'm gonna yank this this cotyledon out of here. It looks terrible. And again, this is way too important a place for a plant not to look really, really good. Our pots. Yes, here's a little arrangement that I did. That I'm really proud of this. I think this looks, pull these weeds. I think this looks really good. I've got an aloe. No, this is a dichotoma, and a little rum runner in this kind of bluish pewter gray pot with some really, really beautiful jade, small jade top dressing, and this is just stunning. And the way I anchored the pot was by taking a little bit of black lava, 3/4 inch, and weaving it through on top of the Cali Gold. So it's just a beautiful composition and really, really simple. This pot, more blue elf, and just some sedum that is tough. Loving this, loving the sun, love the old look of this. Just deadheading, cleaning off some of the yucky pieces. I was recently called out by one of you, and you were right, and I apologize. I had suggested stuffing, because some of you asked me, if you have a big pot, do you have to fill it all the way up with soil? And I'm always you know, like, no, you know, you can put non-decompostables in the bottom of it, like old plastic, packing peanuts, bags, you know, anything that doesn't decompose can be used to fill up half or 3/4 of your pot. And that may work here in San Diego, in the land of milk and honey, where it never rains and we can completely and always control our irrigation. But in the case of those of you that live in rainy climates, that is not necessarily good advice, because that plastic can inhibit drainage and cause the roots of your plants to rot. So I would suggest perhaps rock or pebbles. Maybe you could offer your suggestions in the comments, those of you that live the rainy life. Let us know what works for you. Over here, it looks like this side of the garden could use a tweak of the irrigation. This is a classic Aluaudia procera that is drought stricken. As opposed to grief stricken, it is drought stricken, meaning it is not in leaf. And it could be if we just threw a little water on it. Pachypodium lemerii, kind of the same thing. It could be a lot more lush right now if it got a little more water. This cactus is freaking hilarious. I wonder, Hannah, if this is an example of another cactus where we could pop off the babies. That's a really, really beautiful pup. But it's super cool, and I wouldn't change a thing. Just a thought. And this stand of Agave Lophantha quadricolor, I love that. Yeah, that's that. This whole thing is just giving me life right here. I mean, we can hardly see the boulder, but the Aloe in the back, all that Cameronii. I mean, it's just, this is tight. It looks really good. If we could just get this Aluaudia to leaf out, we'd be in business. And this Dazzlerian longissimum is real happy. This is what they're supposed to look like, you guys. I love that Mangave jaguar right there in the corner too. And the pharaoh cactus in the pot. I had this idea. I remember being so proud of myself. And it really does look good. It just anchors. And I did the little black 3/4 inch to anchor the pot in the space like I did over on the other side. So yeah, I mean, I'm loving this. This looks great. So this little corner back here, also super happy with. We laid in some organic flagstone for access to the patio or access here to the backyard, and basically just mounded a little bit, put up a big agave, added some aloe blue elf, staged a ceramic frog, and called it a day. You know, sometimes it is the simple things that make the biggest impact. This Petalanthus bracteus, happy like clam, and this is the garden where those Echeveria Saharas do so well. Wait until you see the other stand over here by the pool. Look at this. Look at that fantastic stress. This aloe would probably benefit from being upplanted. It's not a ferox. It's a sort of feroxy though, isn't it? Gosh, maybe it is. Yeah, it just needs to be upplanted. There's probably no soil left in that pot. The euphorbia looks great over there. Wow. See, now this area of the garden right now is primarily in shade. Look at these babies. Boink, 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 boink. They just go down in size as you roll around. This is just the cutest little thing. Oh my gosh. I just love it. So cute. And this Aluaudia procera is just as wild as they come. And we have had to make judicious cuts and remove... We've had to remove branches because they've, fallen over into the sidewalk. But it's, like where we make a cut, there's always a branch that will form from beneath the cut. Happy millii. The Cynthia Giddy are beautiful. See, some of these we've pulled out and put back as cuttings, and that's why some are red and some are green. This is a giant aloe ferox. Yeah, right? Whoa is right. And this stand of Echeveria Sahara isn't as mighty as it was. I have a picture on my Instagram at Laura Loves Succulents of this twice this size. Crazy huge. Yeah, it'll come around. And this Crassula argentea sunset is almost ready to be dialed in. Another,
Three some of them.
yeah, there's this Dazzlerian longissimum.
3 of them.
It's 3. It's a trio, and so spectacular.
Look at this.
And the Bacarnia.
You can put your foot next to that.
Yeah, let me get over there. This we moved from over on the side of the house. It was just crammed in there, and as soon as we planted this, look at this thing. It's crazy huge. This thing has probably quadrupled, at least in size, from when we planted it. It was just like, oh my gosh, thank you for moving me someplace where I can spread my wings. Just so fantastic. It has grown so fast that it has split the bark. Just absolutely crazy. You can really see why they call this elephant's foot. Look at that. Beautiful. Wow. Yeah, and then this petalanthus, it's sharing space with the neighbor's giant bird of paradise. And this is such a large area that we've been able to just kind of let this petalanthus do its thing and open up and just be fantastic. This kind of shows you the potential of this plant when we allow it to just do what it wants to do. More aloe vera here. Yeah, it's a beautiful stand, well stressed. Another Mediopicta, a talavera ball. Cindy's got some really beautiful garden art. And here's another one of those crassula. We just saw this over in the church garden. I called it,
So cool.
what did I call this? I called this crassula
You said it's arborescens?
orbiculata. Or is it arborescens? Crap. Well, any rate, it's gorgeous. And this had been cut, and now there's new growth coming from right beneath where I had done some cuts. And this is really pretty too. This is a riot of color with the quadricolor, the millii, the giddies, the Dazzlerian longissimums. You can see how they're stunted when they're put in a pot, which I don't hate. And then this is the neighbor's creeping fig, or Ficus repens. This is not hers. So we need to come over here rather frequently and cut this back because it's just so overpowering. Then we've got the Opuntias and the Antisyphilitica going all the way down there. I do love that.
Let's
Really.
go check out the gutters and
Yeah, let's check out the gutters and see how the pilos are doing.
not well.
Not well? No. These pots look good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And these are supposed to be blue. They've been yellow now for over a year.
They're blooming still.
I know.
That's so funny.
I know that they got sick, clearly. But you know, the client doesn't hate them. She kind of likes her yellow cactus. So we're just gonna let it ride. You know, they're kind of stunted. They haven't really done a whole lot of growing, but they are interesting. I mean, yeah. So as long as she's happy, I'm happy. What the heck? And the gutters. We did 2, 4, like 8 6-foot gutters in her yard, and they're just a constant source of delight. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, and the Dracaena Draco is starting to figure it out. It sat over there and pouted for the first couple years, and I really wasn't sure it was happy, but it looks good now. And then our hedge of undulata and blue elf looks meh. It needs more water. That's a really cool little crest.
This looks so good.
Right? The Myrtilla cactus crest. Yeah, this is just heaven. Unreal. Oh, did you notice, Hannah, the little baby? And I see a bird's nest up there too. Looks like it might be a hummingbird's nest. Here's another agave truncata. Beautiful. And then here we have more gutters that need fluffing. Need to bring some plants in, fluff up these gutters. Yeah, and then down here we just, she had some little Mexican beach, the little Mexican beach pebbles, so we just kind of worked those in a ribbon down the side and added some crassulas. Aw, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah, these, I had to do a little bit of tweaking. I put some cactus in these pots because the succulents weren't doing so great. It's real shady over here.
You can see with the barrels how they become like green.
Yep, they're much greener. And the thorns aren't as thick or as long because they don't feel the need to be as protective. That's a stunning crest.
So cool.
Yeah, beautiful. These pots are stunning. So looks like we need to come over to Cindy's and adjust some irrigation in some areas and bring in some plants and do a rehab on her gutters. Here's another one of those cotyledons that has run completely amok. Do some judicious cuts. Some of it I'll preserve, other I won't. You know something, not everything's a winner, right? What is it Forrest Gump said? Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get.
You know, never sure what you're going to get. Yeah, so
I don't know if that's the same.
nobody wins them all. Here's another one of those moonshine agaves. This is a gorgeous cream spike. Bam. Love it. Okay, so that's my story, guys, and I'm sticking with it. I hope that you have enjoyed this tour at Cindy's in Chula Vista. And yeah, we'll come back in a few months and check on in it again. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.